Welcome back to Prison Architect, everybody. Welcome back to Morningwood, where last time we left off we were dealing with this protected custard over here. Now, here's the thing. This restaurant really wasn't playing up, okay? It didn't want to be a restaurant. It didn't want to serve food to the prisoners that were living, the villagers that were living in these homes, okay? Until I assigned it to this toilet as well. Genuinely. As soon as I assigned this room to be a restaurant as well, it was like, oh, you know what? I do have prisoners, I do have villagers, you know, eating here, and I should start providing food. So the situation there is resolved, thankfully. But today it's just going to be a short video, okay? Because I've got a couple of other things that I need to get done today. So we're just going to bust straight in and get these houses done. And while we do this, I'm just going to chat about like various things, okay? So, one of the things I was thinking about chatting about was I make a lot of stuff, okay? Like, when I say I make a lot of stuff, like, I do a lot of programming, just in my spare time. Like, I do it at work as well, but I don't know, I like making stuff, you know? I like making games, I like making tools, things like that. I was kind of tempted to, I don't know, maybe do some videos on some of the stuff I've made over the years. I don't know how interesting that would be, though, for people, honestly. Like, it would probably be, it might be dull as shit. I guess it depends on what I'm showing you. Like, I've got things, I've got all kinds of crap, alright? I've got tools that I've made over the years, which were, like, to help me with game development, you know? I made a tool which takes, like, skyboxes, for example, converts it into, like, a sphere map, which is something you can just map onto, like, a hemisphere or a sphere, it's up to you. Yeah, I mean, that kind of shit, probably not that interesting. But then on the flip side, I quite often, sometimes, I'll just spend a weekend making a quick game. You know, like, I'll get bored one weekend, put together a quick game, see what I can knock out. Like, one of those games I made was like a South Park inspired game. I don't know if you remember the episode when, basically, the teachers decide to throw Cartman under a bus. Literally. So that they can take the heat off of the fact that lots of the kids are committing suicide, which is it's pretty dark, I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, like, basically at the end of the episode, Cartman gets his revenge by giving the teachers cupcakes laced with laxatives, which is kind of funny, and the side effect of this is that Mr. Mackey goes shooting across the oh, excuse me, a bit of a hiccup. Goes shooting across the school corridor, propelled on like a stream of pretty violent diarrhea, actually. It's got to be said. And yeah, I decided to turn that into a Flappy Bird clone. Okay? Like, I mean, if you're going to turn it into anything, why not turn it into a Flappy Bird clone? I mean, the reason I went for a Flappy Bird clone was I was curious to see how long it would take to make a Flappy Bird clone. Turns out about 8 hours, maybe? Something like that. I think I spent probably about 4 hours messing around with the audio, like cutting together music clips and stuff like that to you know, work with. But like, other than that, it was about 8 hours to make the game, I'd say. Like, if I didn't bother with any of the audio stuff, it would have been 8 hours. Because I bothered with that, you know, it was a little bit longer. Like I say, maybe 12 hours if you want to take that into account. But honestly, I kind of don't, because it's like, you know, it's ancillary work that I spent a lot longer pottering around on than I would have necessarily had to, if you know what I mean. You know, it was just kind of fun. It was interesting to mess around with. That's I mean, that's the reason I do these crazy things. It's enjoyable for me. So I've kind of screwed myself over here. I'm not sure where the TV should go. Ah, shit. What do we do? Maybe that. I think we're gonna have to do that. It's the only one that's gonna make sense, to be honest with you. But yeah, like, how interesting would it be to see that kind of stuff, you know? Like, I've got some other games I've made. I made, like, it's called a ray tracing solution. It's basically like old school Wolfenstein, if you remember that game. Wolfenstein 3D, I mean. It's essentially like the technology that powered that. Just done in a slightly, I don't know, in a slightly different way. I was thinking about turning it into something else, you know. Yeah, I made a bot for our Discord room as well. He's called Fobbot. Just come along and say hi to him. He likes it when people say hi. But yeah, he just kind of, he does some stuff. You can look up videos of him and things. Like, people chuck out ideas every now and then. And I generally, like, I take those ideas and I try and run with them if I can. Like, sometimes they're good ideas, sometimes they're alright ideas. Like, either way, I like to try and, you know, take them on board, see if I can do anything with them. Like, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It depends on you know, the technical capabilities of the code available to me. But I mean, one cool thing he does is provide like the time zones and shit. You know, so that you can if we're wondering what time people want to game, etc. Like, 'cause we do a lot of gaming as well. Like on a Sunday night, we get together. We all, you know, at the moment we're playing some Gmod and stuff. I've talked about it before, but yeah, like I you know, he's useful for letting us know like what time it is everybody needs to get together. You know, it's cool. I like it. Now, what have I forgotten? I've forgotten a radio, haven't I? They've got no music to work out to, which is of course like a cardinal sin. Like, how are you gonna, you know, how are you gonna work out properly without music at the end of the day? Like, without music, you're probably gonna forget like which day it is. You know, you're gonna end up forgetting leg day. You never want to forget leg day at the end of the day. You'll end up looking like Popeye, but only from the waist up, which is honestly, it's not a good look. The ladies don't really like that look. You know, at least I've heard they don't like that look. I can kind of understand. You know, it doesn't sound like a particularly appealing look to me. Of course, we forgot pot plants. I'm so dumb. How did I forget the pot plants? Honestly, like if there's anything I was gonna forget, I'm surprised it was the pot plants. I mean, our daily cash flow is fairly low at the moment as well. I guess it's because we're currently 8 prisoners down. 8 villagers down, sorry. It looks like that's because we've had a number of early releases, which is good, you know, because that was a big influx of cash as well. But, oh, wrong button. Apologies about that. But at the same time, like, with no villagers, we have no purpose to being a village, right? You know what I mean? And with no purpose to being a village, like, why do we even bother existing or being in this place? You know, why is Morningwood here? So we need to get a replacement supply of those villagers coming in. You know, I'm hoping that some of our releases, you know, I mean, I say releases, there are enlightened villagers. Some of our enlightened villagers, I'm hoping they've been out there, you know, really spreading the word of Morningwood to try and bring new people in, so that we can teach them the word of Morningwood as well, and you know, continue the love for Morningwood in the outside world. But we're just going to have to wait and see how that kind of goes. Like, I'm guessing, you know, hopefully it should be an easy task. I mean, Morningwood is pretty kick-ass, right? I mean, everybody gets like pot plants in their houses and stuff. You know, we're pretty free and easy with the pot plants. If you could get pets in this game, we'd allow everyone to have pets, but you can't. So we have to settle for pot plants, okay? Because pot plants are like the nearest thing that people can have to a pet sometimes, you know? There are people out there, they like to talk to their plants. They think their plants can listen to them, and like it helps them grow and stuff, and you know, more power to them, I guess. Personally, I think that's probably batshit crazy. But you know, I'm not going to judge. At the end of the day, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to architect a mighty fine village, you know, with windows throughout all of the houses. Don't you worry, TKO, I've got your back. We're going to put a window on either side of the door. Okay, I think that's going to be a nice look to go with first of all. The light, you know, from outside, it will bleed in a little bit, but we'll give them some nice fancy curtains, something like that. You know, ooh, oh, Windows update. Remind me later. Sorry about that. No, Prison Architect. Thank you. Give me control back in my keyboard. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but like if you lose control when you're, if you lose control when you're like panning around. It just keeps panning, like even when you let go of the buttons. I do understand the technical reasons. I don't know if I can be bothered to explain them. It's to do with key states, okay? But yeah, if you ever get that, the solution is basically to press the button again, okay? Just to let you know, in case you didn't. You probably worked it out by now, though. You know, you're all grown-ups at the end of the day. You're smart people. You know what I'm talking about right now when I talk about that kind of stuff, so we're just going to roll with it. Now, these are shops, technically, aren't they? So I think these need to have lots and lots and lots of windows on them. Because that is just the way that we do the commercial side of things. I mean, obviously, the actual shop can't have lots and lots of windows on it, because it's got a fancy storefront instead. The restaurant should have windows all the way along the front as well. Not down the side, though. Just the front. And the kitchen, The kitchen should have a window, and I think maybe the bathroom needs a window as well. Just to let some of the stinky smells out, you know. But yeah, okay, so that's the bottom chunk of our protected custard done. The old Ambrosia district. It looks like it's snowing as well in Morningwood, which is nice. That's very festive. Of course, it's not Christmas anymore, but never mind. I think before we finish up, we're definitely going to get some more beds and stuff in, okay? Because if we start to get these houses laid out a little bit more, then if we've got any protective custody prisoners that end up in the rest of the prisoners, if we've got any protected custard, you know, villagers that end up in the rest of the village, we can ensure that we've got like the right space to allocate them into, and we'll be able to get even more villagers into the spaces that they're freeing up, you know, if they happen to be taking up a space. But we'll give everybody a toilet and a bed for now, because that is the bare minimum. It looks like old Graham Tyson here, serving 12 years for money laundering. Looks like his place is pretty much complete. He's missing one pot plant, and that looks about... Oh, no, that isn't his pot plant, it turns out. And that is about it, you know. He's got some... Looks like some free pipes in his bathroom as well. I'm not sure I like the workers leaving pipes in people's houses. I think it's probably a little bit disrespectful, guys. Thank you. Thank you. As I say that, they come and take them out. But there we go. That's the Ambrosia district done. I'm sure sorry it's been a bit of a short one today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff, the commenting, the liking and the subscribing. Follow me on Twitter. Like, come and join us in Discord. Come and say hi to Fodbot. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.